Hello and happy Wednesday, 6th grade. It is Yom HaAtzmaut, and we are going to celebrate the ability of the Jewish people to live in Eretz Yisrael by also doing a mitzvah, learning Torah. And Be'ezrat Hashem, with God's help, we will all soon be learning Torah in Eretz Yisrael. Amen. All right, here we go. If you open up to page 22 of your packet, you will see you have a new milon. Don't worry about the words there in terms of a quiz. I'm not giving you a separate quiz on these words. However, you do need to have these words. You need to be familiar with them for the rest of the parak. Now, today we are finally getting to that moment. It is the night of Tet Vav Nisan, and Makat Bechorot is happening. You've already translated Psukim Chaf Tet through Lamed Gimel, and you have submitted them. Please make sure you've submitted them before you watch the video. Here we go. Oh, my computer. See, it's not just you guys. Pasuk Chaf Tet. Vayehi b'chatzi halayla, and it was in the middle of the night. The Hashem hika kol b'chor be'eretz Mitzrayim, and Hashem struck or hit, which means killed, all the firstborns in the land of Egypt. Mibuchor Paro hayoshev al kiso, from the oldest son of Paro, the prince who sat on his chair, on this throne, ad bechor hashvi, asher bebeit hasohar, to the eldest of the prisoner who was in the Beit Habor, which is the other way of saying Beit HaSohar, in the prison. Remember, we learned a Rashi about that, saying so that the prisoners couldn't say, "Oh, our foreign gods who are exacting revenge on us. They are exacting revenge for us on the Egyptians, and they're the ones who are doing this." No. Hashem made sure that they were also killed to show that it wasn't their gods, but it was just Hashem who was making this happen. And also Hashem struck down all the firstborns of the cattle, whatever was remaining. Lamed, Vayakam Paro Laila. Paro got up in the night. Hu v'chol avadav, v'chol Mitzrayim. He and all of his servants and all of the land of Egypt. Vatehi tza'aka gdola b'Mitzrayim. And the screaming was very loud. There was a great cry in Egypt. Ki ein bayit, because there was not a house, asher ein sham meit, where there was not someone who was dead. All right, so this is a double negative. What it really means, ki ein bayit asher ein sham meit, means every single house in Egypt had a dead person, meaning every single house that didn't obviously have the blood on the doorposts. Now, Rashi has an obvious question on these words. Ki ein bayit asher ein sham meit. If you take a look at page 24 in your Choveret, we are going to work on this Rashi together. So open up to page 24, please. What's Rashi's question? How is it possible that there can be a dead person in every house? What if there was no Bechor in that house? For example, if you had a firstborn child who was off traveling in a different land, or who had died, well then you didn't have a firstborn in the house. There was no one there who had been the firstborn child in that family. So how is it possible that every single home in Egypt had someone dead during Makat Bechorot? Let's take a look at Rashi together. Yesh sham bechor. If indeed there was a firstborn in the house, mate, then that person died. But what about the second possibility? Ein sham bechor. But if there was not a firstborn in the house, what happened? Gadol shebabayit karui bechor. The gadol, the oldest in the house, is karui, like kara, would be called bechor. The oldest in the house would then be considered the bechor. Not the firstborn, but the next oldest person. Meaning if there was no firstborn in the house, then whoever was the oldest died. Now, some of you are going to ask, well, did this include women? So there's actually differences of opinions. We're not going to go into this one right now, but The Midrashim are not clear on this either way. Some Midrashim say it was just the firstborn or oldest males in the house. Some say the women were also struck down by Makat Bechorot. So either one works. But if there was no actual firstborn in the house, then whoever was oldest in the house died. And in that way, every single house had someone dead, because every house will have someone who's the oldest. There's always going to be an oldest in the house. Now, how can we say that the word Bechor could also mean oldest person in the house? Doesn't it mean born first? So there's a proof from Tehillim that Rashi brings to support this use of the word Bechor. Shene'emar, as it is said or written in the Tanakh, whenever Rashi brings this word Shene'emar, you know that he's going to bring a proof text from somewhere else in the Torah. In Tehillim, it says, Af ani bechor etnehu, which means, and I will make him a firstborn. It doesn't matter who it's talking about. The point here is that Hashem is making someone a firstborn who is not actually a firstborn. This implies that Hashem can change the order of who is considered firstborn, in that even though they might not be born first, Hashem will still consider them a firstborn if Hashem wants to. It's the kind of thing that can be changed around. It's not a matter of birth order. What a Bechor is, a firstborn is, but and all the things that come along with that, including birthrights or needing to be dead during Makat Bechorot, Hashem can change who that is. It's a little bit more flexible, right? We know that the Bechorah was also flexible earlier in the Torah, right? Because Esav was actually the firstborn, but Yaakov got all of the benefits of the Bechorah. So this title Bechorah or Bechor doesn't strictly mean born first. It could potentially be changed. It's not something that's like hard and fast. All right. So this is how every single house in Egypt had someone dead, either the actual firstborn or whoever was oldest in the house, either or. So please answer the questions on page 24 about this Rashi. Question 1, Al Eza Sheila Rashi. What's Rashi's question? 2, Mi Nechshav Kebechor. Who is considered a Bechor? There's 2 answers. 3, Shene'emar. Translate that word Shene'emar. And Matai Mishtamesh Rashi Bamila Hazot. When does Rashi use this word? Complete those questions, pause the video, and I'll see you in a moment. All right, question 1. What is Rashi's question? How is it possible that every single house in Egypt had a dead firstborn, had someone who had died? So Rashi tells us there's 2 types of people who are considered to be the Bechor. 1, the actual typical understanding of Bechor, meaning the first child born into the family, or the oldest person in the house. Might not have been the firstborn, and only if there were no firstborns there. If there actually was a firstborn in the house, then the oldest person did not die. Like, it's very possible that the oldest person was someone's father, but if the father was the youngest sibling in his family, then he didn't die. His eldest died. His firstborn died. But if his firstborn wasn't in the house, then the father, who's the oldest, would have died. Shene'emar means as it says or as it is written. And when does Rashi use this word Shene'emar? What's the purpose of Rashi using this word? Every time Rashi uses the word Shene'emar, you know Rashi is bringing a proof text from somewhere else in Tanakh to support whatever point he had just made. Awesome. Finishing up the psukim for today. Pasuk Lamed Aleph. Vayikra Moshe la'Aharon. Vayikra leMoshe u'la'Aharon laila. Paro called to Moshe and Aharon in the night. Vayomer, and he said, Kumu tze'u mitoch ami. Get up, leave from my nation. Gam atem, you guys, gam b'nei Yisrael, and also all the Hebrews, the Israelites. Ulechu, and go, ivdu et Hashem kidaberchem. Go serve your God like you asked, like you mentioned. Lamed bet. Paro is feeling very generous right now. Gam tzonchem, also your cattle, your sheep, gam bekarchem, and your cattle. Chu, take them, kasher zibartem, like you asked. Remember, initially he was going to let just the men go, or he was just going to let the people go, but not the animals. Now Paro is saying, every single last one of you and all your possessions, just get out. And finally, what does Paro ask before they leave? Uveirachtem gam oti, and also give me a bracha. Give me a blessing. I need it right now. Lamed Gimel. Vatachzak Mitzrayim al ha'am. Egypt was very strong on the nation, limaher l'shalcham, to quickly send them out, min haaretz. Ki amru, for they said, kulanu meitim, we're all dead here. Like, there's so much death around us, just get out. We know this is the cause, we know you guys are the reason, just, we need you to leave. We need you to leave so that all of this death can stop. We're just so done. And that is Makat Bechorot. Please complete the check for understanding on Google Classroom for today. Reminder, you have an open notes test on Monday. And have a wonderful Yom HaAtzmaut. I hope to see you at some of the festivities.